In this lesson, we are going to make this figure 8 ring. The ring we are going to make is using very simple figure 8 technique all over the piece, but just to add something more can make the very simple technique can be this pretty. So I will show you how to make this pretty ring. The required materials are 10 of Swarovski 5301 bicone style bead, 4 mm. This time I'm going to use the jet black, and also in the same style bead in 4 mm, 6 of them. This time I'm going to use a shadow crystal AB. Then depend on the size you are going to make, it will be slightly different, but from 10 to 15 Swarovski 5301 bicone style 3 mm beads in clear color. And also this one will be depends on the size that you're making, but it's about around 50 of sterling silver 1.8 mm round beads. Then 28 inches long monofilament string, then flash cutter. We will start from weaving this part, the base part. We are going to add this round silver parts later, so we're going to start just doing the basic figure 8 motion. First, put one jet black bead, one shadow crystal bead, one jet, and pick another shadow crystal, then pass the left string through it. Then make the piece in the center. Then we just repeat the same motion. Put the one of each jet beads on both strings. Pick the shadow crystal bead with your right string and pass the left string through it. You will keep making the same pattern until you finish all the beads in front of you. I just used up all the 4 mm beads to make this motif. Now bring up the 3 mm Swarovski beads and the 1.8 mm round sterling silver round beads in front of you. Then pick one sterling silver round bead with right string, and pick another one with your left string. Pick clear 3 mm bead with your right string, then pass the left string through it. The same figure 8 motion, but we just start using the smaller beads. Show you one more time. One on the right side, one on the left side. Pick 3 mm bead with your right string and pass the left string through it. This is also depend on the size, the ring size that you are making, but this time I'm going to make a size 7.5, so I'm going to use 12 of 3mm beads. So I have 10 more here, so repeat the same pattern until you finish all these 3mm beads. I just used all 12 3mm beads that I had, and just for your tip, make sure every time when you close the two strings inside of these 3mm beads, pull the string tight, not too strong, but always pull it tight. That way you won't have enough extra stringing showing out. So what we're gonna do is put one starting silver bead on your right string, then pass the very top of the middle bead, which is shadow crystal bead. Then put the one starting silver bead with your left string, then tie the square knot. After that, it should look like this. Of course, you can use this ring as this design, but it's too simple. So what we are going to do is add some point using these round starting silver beads, but you also be able to use a seed bead instead of these starting silver beads, but the case, those lengths might be a little bit slightly different from those metal beads. So you might need to adjust the number of the beads that now you're putting in. But first, normally we just pass through just one side of the string, but in this design we are going to pass both strings through this shadow crystal bead, and then pull gently and hide a knot. Then pick just one of the string and pick one, 2, 3, 4 beads with your right string, then you will pass this string from the right side of the shadow crystal bead just above, like this. Then you do the same thing. Pick 4, go through the shadow crystal bead just above, from right to left. So you just keep repeating the same pattern until you reach to the other side of the shadow crystal bead. I will show you one more time. This. Just repeat the same pattern 2 more times. Now I reach to the top part of the 4mm bead with this string. and we will go back to the string which was resting for a while. Then we will go through these 4mm bead using zigzag motion. So I will go this jet bead, shadow crystal, jet, shadow crystal, jet, shadow crystal, jet. I will just show you how to go up. It's just a simple zigzag motion. Like this. You just go up until you reach to the top of the 4mm beads. Here. Now those two strings are facing each other. One is coming from the jet beads, one is coming from the shadow bead. And now you are going to tie the knot again. Then to make this band part to be stable, we're gonna try to go around using the zigzag motion. So what I did is just I pull one side of the string through this shadow crystal bead and pull the string gently and hide the knot. Then I just use the zigzag motion to make this band part steady. So pass through this string the starting silver bead. You can rest this side. The left side string is resting right now, just using the right side string. Then silver bead, 3mm Swarovski bead. Since 3mm Swarovski bead has very narrow hole, you might have a tough time to go through sometime, especially after you weaved for a while. Tip of your monofilament string start bending. If it doesn't go through, you can do is bring out the flash cutter and cut the edge, the angle to the angle. Then you can repeat the same thing like this. So you just repeat the same motion until you reach to the other side of the band. I came up all the way to the last 3mm Swarovski bead. My string is coming from this Swarovski bead. Since we already hide the square knot inside of this 4mm bead, we won't be able to go through this bead anymore. So the rule always we follow, we need to finish the string at the bigger beads, in this case which is the 3mm beads compared to 1.8mm round bead. We are going to stop it right here. Then if it's possible, if you are patient enough, I recommend you to do the same thing with the other side of the string, which was resting on the bottom of the band, and do the zigzag motion also. But as I told you, 3mm bead hole is very small, so it might be frustrating. And if you get tired of doing it, you can just stop anywhere, since you already went through majority of the bead with the other side of the string. It's already we already added more strings to this band. So if it doesn't go through anymore, you can cut. But I will try to reach to the other side. I came up to the close to the end also, and then now I'm going to pass this string through the last 3mm bead, which the other side of the string is resting. And now bring out the flash cutter and cut the string both sides. Now you just made a figure 8 ring.